Similarly, if you're going to move your formula from left to right, then Excel will increment the column, but row will not change. Now what does that mean? So let's understand this by doing this example. Now you know that this is a formula which says that we have equals to A1. Now if I'm going to drag this formula in a downward direction, top to bottom like this, now you drag it or you copy and paste it, one and the same thing, but your direction is in a downward direction. Then I said in a previous class is that any address has two components. One is a column, which is this. These are the columns A, B, C, D, E, and so on, and you have the last column as except D, right? And when we talk about the rows, we talk about these rows like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you can even see that if I'm selecting something, it says 11R. 11R means 11th row, right? Similarly, if I select this and move in a direction, you see that I'm seeing this 2C. 2C means second column. So columns are always in a vertical direction. They move like this, A, B, C, D, and the rows moves like in this direction. And you have 10,48,576 rows, right? Similarly, you have around, if you see the columns, you have 16,384. Now Excel says that if you as my user is working on any formula and you're going to drag that formula in a downward direction, I'm going to increment the row but not the column. Column I will not change, which means that in this A1 we have two components, right? The first component which we have is column A, right? And the second thing which you have here is this is the row, which is 1, right? So if I tell you that what is the column number in the B2 cell, what do you say? The column is B and the row number is 2. You will never say that 2B. A cell is always defined by column first and then row. Even if you select any cell, you can see in the address bar it says F11. F11 means intersection of column F and row number 11. So whatever is the intersection, that is exactly your cell, right? So intersection, I mean to say, I'm just giving you an example that if I am on the 12th row and column F, so see the meeting point. So this cell is the meeting point and this is called the A12, right? So where column A and row number 12 meets, and there will be only just one cell, right, which would be a part of these two, and that's what I said, that it is going to be an intersection. Yeah, so that's where we say that this is how we address the cell. Now before I go further, I also would like to tell you that if now you know that this is a sheet and the sheet name is cell referencing, right? And we have a lot of sheets here, right? Every sheet has its own name, and this is a workbook. A workbook can have n number of sheets, and there is a limit to that, but I really don't remember the number. Maybe we can Google it and can try to find it out. I think they can insert somewhere around 256 sheets, or maybe I think more than that. I don't really remember now. They might have increased with these new versions, but anyways, that's not something which is required to know. The point I'm trying to make is that every workbook has n number of sheets, can have n number of sheets, right? So workbook is always a one. Workbook means a file. Generally in layman term we say it Excel file. So but in proper Excel language we call it workbook name. So if I ask you what is a workbook name, you say that it's a day2.xls, right? You don't have to say .xlsx. You can even say that it's a day2 the name of the file is day 2, the workbook name is day 2. And if I say that how many sheets do we have, so maybe I think we have around 7-8 sheets here. And if I say that what is the last sheet, then you would say that in day 2 file or day 2 workbook I have this cell referencing which is my last sheet. Now if I'm going to link this file with some another file within this workbook, I can do that. Right now, for example, if I go to this sheet and I click here and I select this cell and I press enter, you see that not only I'm getting the sheet name but also the cell address. However, if I'm on my same sheet and I'm referencing this with another cell which is again a part of same sheet, like in this case if we try to refer it to let's say this cell which is called the E9, you see that I don't see any sheet name. There is no sheet name which is available in the formula bar. Ideally it should be cell referencing and then sign of exclamation and the cell E9, just like in this case. We have the sheet name, this is the sheet name, and after sheet name I have sign of exclamation and then F12. So what it says is that this F12 is not a part of this sheet. This belongs to this sheet and the name is there, right? So that's the only difference. So the result would be same. If I'm going to change anything over here in 165, if I'm going to write your name, let's say, and if I come back here, you see that this will be changed because we have applied a formula. The only now you have to simply say equals to and then go to that sheet wherever. For example, now press enter. So normal referencing, like if I ask you to refer this cell with A2 within this sheet, then how will you do? Equals to A2, right? So the same step I'm doing here, but this time I'm referring this A2 with some another sheet and the sheet name is sheet 2, like this. So this sheet 2 will come automatically, you don't have to write it. Excel will generate this for you. Now this can distinguish that this A2 belongs to this sheet, but this A2 belongs to sheet 2, right? So similarly, if you go to sheet 2 and you do the reverse thing, let's say you say equals to, you select this sheet and you select this cell. Now you see that you have a sheet name here, right? So when you refer one sheet with the another sheet, a sheet name will always be there. But when you are referring two cells with each other but within the same domain, within the same platform, within the same sheet, worksheet, right, there will be no sheet available. You will not be seeing any sheet. Excel will only give you the cell address A2, B2, K2, M2, any cell which you choose, right? That's the first difference, right? And that's the first, and I would say that's the only difference. Otherwise, in terms of mechanism, things, it is exactly the same, which means that if you are going to change anything on the referred cell, the things will change here as well, right? Alright, now let's come back to this portion which has equals to A1. Now if you read the formula, which is this, that's the first rule and that's the second rule. Now they say that if you're going to drag formula from top to bottom or in a downward direction, whatever way you want to say, I'm going to increment the row by 1 and the column will not be changed, right? What does that mean? Now in equals to A1, I have a column A and the row is 1, correct? Right? That you understand? Alright. Now when I'm going to drag this, Excel says I'm gonna increment the row by 1, so which means that this 1 will be changed to 2, and at the same time Excel says that no changes will be done on the column will remain as it is, so it means the column will still be A. So the new formula which I'll get here, it is going to be A2. Okay, similarly if I drag this formula again, Now what will happen? Excel will see that what formula user has on this active cell, which is A2. So A2 will change to now A3, and so on. I keep on dragging this, it is going to increment every time I drag. So you have A3, A4, pay attention here, and then this formula bar, A5, A6, A7, A8, A9, A10. Right? Any doubt? Yeah. Not F1, F6. You see this F6. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Exactly. That's the Excel rule. This is how Excel will treat your formula. Now, if you are in a situation where you don't want this to happen and you want that in every cell this should show as A1, then we have even, those tricks with us and we can implement them. But we'll come to that in a while, right? Show you my website. These are the sections. This video tutorials. You have these video tutorials. Let's say for the VLOOKUP, which we are doing today. So these are the videos. If your basics are clear, then you can actually see these videos. So from here, all the links are available. The videos. So that's in the process. Okay, so now we were actually discussing this Excel rule, how Excel treats the formula, right? Not a value, just remember again. Okay, so because if you write here 100 and if you drag this down, you know that 100 will be there, right? Because there is no formula. So for the values, we don't apply these things. Yeah, exactly. And even, but there is a one more twist in this. When you drag anything which is a value like this, you see that this box automatically comes. Now if you want this to be in a serial, you can click here and you can say fill series like this.